Hello dear students, welcome to the online learning session of 2020-21. Today we are going to begin chapter 1 of geography of class 10th, that is resources and development. This is part 1 of the total video lectures. So let us move ahead and start learning our first topic. Our first topic is meaning of resource. Anything which satisfies our needs is known as a resource. For example, when we feel hungry, we eat food. In order to cover ourselves, we need clothes. To live and to protect ourselves, we need a shelter. For traveling purpose, we need buses, cars, trains. For writing, we use pens, pencils. For studying and learning, we go to schools, classrooms, where teachers teach us. So students, all these examples are there in front of you in your everyday life. You just need to be observant and pick all these examples and learn the concept on a daily basis from your common life. Now look at this picture and it becomes very clear that how resources fulfill our needs. We have already seen and discussed about food, clothes, shelter, and as far as education is concerned, you need a school. Your school serves as a resource for you. There you get into classroom. Your classroom serves as a resource for you. Your teachers serve as a resource for you people. The labs, the buses, etc. All these items are resources which are fulfilling certain requirements, certain needs of yours on a daily basis. So therefore, we can call all these kinds of things as resources. Now let us move on and learn how do natural things convert into resources. Students, you see a lot of things in nature, but can you use all those things directly? The answer is no. Why? Because all those things are raw and they can't be used in our day-to-day lives. So in order to use them, we need to turn them into finished goods or resources. For example, let us move into a forest. We will see a lot of trees. Can we use those trees directly? No. But what is the part of the tree that can be converted into chairs or tables and then we can use it? Of course, the wood. So we usually go to the forest, cut the trees, collect the logs, and we transport all the logs to factories. Now in factories, all these logs of wood get processed and finally they get turned into different kinds of furnitures. For example, chair, table, etc. Now we see that we can use a chair for sitting, we can use a table for keeping our books, etc. So therefore we can now call this chair and the table a resource. So students, what was the most important element here between the forest and the finished goods? It was the human being. Human beings went to the forest, they cut the trees, they collected the logs, transported it to factories, and there they got converted into furnitures which can be used by themselves. So human beings form a very central part of all this process. They first of all identify the things which can be converted into a resource which can fulfill their needs. Then they get involved in the process of conversion. Finally, the raw materials get converted into what we call as resources. Hey students, meet your new friends, Chinky and Minky. Chinky asks Minky, now that you have come across so many examples of resources, can you classify them? Minky is listening to Chinky right now and she thinks, After a little bit of thinking, Minky replies, yes, why not? Please take a look at the table on the next page. Now Minky says, there's my answer, Chinky. Students, now let us see how has Minky classified resources on different bases. First of all, she has classified the resources on the basis of origin, and there are two kinds of resources, biotic and abiotic. The resources which have life are known as biotic resources, and the resources which do not have life are known as abiotic resources. Second, she has classified resources on the basis of exhaustibility, and the classification is renewable and non-renewable resources. Now, I hope you all know what are renewable resources, resources which can be renewed, replenished in nature, and on the vice versa, non-renewable are the ones which cannot be replenished. They have their limited stock and reserves inside the earth. Third, she has classified the resources on the basis of ownership, individual, community, national and international. On the basis of status of development is the next classification by Minky, which has potential, developed, stock and reserve resources. We'll discuss C and D in our next video. Now let us see what Chinky has to say. Well, that's the correct answer, Minky. So students, I hope the concept till classification of resources is clear. So kindly go through your textbook, make notes and revise them.